So how did your mom react when you told her about being trans? Did you said you turned to the streets. Is that because she wasn't accepting at first, or did she really not understand it? Like what happened when you had those early conversations with your mom?
She really wasn't understanding the first part where the whole appearance was staying the same, meaning that I still see my child as who I had my child as, but with things that my child wear may not be something I would want to see my child in. So it was that point where she was okay with it. But then the point where she was like, okay, I'm now seeing you in the area where we live, that people are going to see you come outside in women clothing, makeup, and, of course I was doing things to survive. So, I didn't have a mother that was wealthy and had lots of money to provide for us. So, and then things that I wanted, she probably wouldn't be willing to want to go buy because I wanted now girl bras and I wanted a cute shirt, so it was certain things I knew now I had to get it on my own. And doing those things what led me to transition. And when I started the transition part, that was the part where it was kind of impacting for her to kind of deal with. So it was like, it went really deep, I'm gonna say. And that deepness is what I really want to kind of express to a little bit more. I want people to kind of follow the story more, I'm saying, because there's more to my story. The story really with my life is really, really deep. From when I say what I mean by that is that I had to move. My daddy ended up moving me. And I ended up living with my godmother and a lot of other things and I had a godmother that was accepting of the situation. And I think my mother tended to look at that and was like, that's my child. I should be accepting of who I pushed out and not allow someone else to accept my child for what they is. And I didn't do it first. So it was I think a moment where my mother reflected where did I do the right or wrong thing to not really accept my child at that moment. So, I had a instant, what they call those, an epiphany. I'm seeing you now living with your godmother and now living with her, the experience of her accepting you fully. And, that was something my mother kind of took on head on. I liked it, the fact that I had a mother that was understanding to maybe it's me. Maybe I should have accepted my child first and not allow someone outside to accept my child.
So you moved in with your godmother, and your godmother was really the one that the adult figure in your life that accepted you as you were, and you were wearing girls' clothing, and you were going out dressed differently than other guys, especially in that neighborhood. I imagine being in a tougher neighborhood too, you could be at risk walking around in girls' clothing as a guy. I imagine that's very scary.
Well, yeah, then I had moved, let's say that too. I had moved from the west side to the south side. Mm-hmm. So I kind of changed the environment too. So the south side at that particular time was a more rougher neighborhood as well. So I was on the south side, southeast side to be exact. So it was really rough there too. So living with her, the comfortability of who I became more to accept was growing more on me, I'm saying, as being this person that understand what the lifestyle as a trans woman, what we had to go through. And it was the coming to grips with everything for me. I was coming to grips with everything at the house living with my godmother.
Yeah, the South Side it's the area that a lot of gangster rappers say that they're from and lie about it because they want to seem hard. And then only a few people are actually from the South Side. That's you hear that constantly, South Side Chicago, South Side. It's almost like a myth to someone who doesn't live there, like myself, because you hear it so often, but I've never actually been in Southside Chicago or lived there.
Well, if those who watch the news often, I'm saying, they'll see certain areas always signify the South Side, the West Side. Those are most the common areas of where crime rates are actually going on more so. So if those who are really into, world news, so they'll see where usually crime things like that tend to happen.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you have a deep story, and it sounds like a lot of that story changed on the morning of March 28th, 2012. That was a pivotal moment in the story of you. And so for people who may not be familiar or may have not seen the profile on ACLU or them, I'll link both of those in the description as well. But from moving in with your godmother up until the morning of March 28th, 2012, what happened leading up to that incident? Before we get into it, like what was going on in your life? What were you doing? Were you in school? Were you not in school? Like what was kind of the vibe of Eisha Love at the time?
Well, Eisha Love was a scrapping black trans woman trying to make ends meet, and by that, others really don't really know the backhand of the story. Others just know what was she say, he say, said that this individual that I ran across, which I was outside, doing things where a lot of trans girls tend to have to run to because we not actually getting opportunities to kind of like go and work a 9 to 5. Like I couldn't work a 9 to 5 back in 2012. Being a black trans woman back then, people was looking at me and laughing at me, even in school. I dropped out of school just because of this situation. My own teacher was picking with me.